Hello, this is Mr. Gambino here with a new stream. In this stream, I'm going to be going over the event week for this week in Reddit Online. I'm actually doing this one decently early on a Wednesday, and not on like a Friday or something, but even then that's not necessarily too bad, but yeah. Going to title, there's kind of one main edition I'd say, because there is other editions, but the other like editions is kind of just for players who have not purchased previous Quick Draw clubs. So there is a couple new things that were added for those who didn't get certain like outlaw passes or whatever from before that are kind of new, but they have technically been in the game before, so kind of get out the way. The one huge addition is really Quick Draw Club number 3, but there is kind of a couple more. And then, yeah, event week highlights from a spectator here. Some of the highlights, I'd say, are 2 times money XP on Call to Arms. More details on stuff later, I suppose, when there's more of an infographic, I suppose. 2 times money on free roam missions, and then also increased Capitale, gang hideouts, and more. So, that's the couple highlights I think are definitely the most worth bringing up, besides for obviously Quick Draw Club number 3 being new and all. But starting out 2 times money and XP on Call to Arms. I think this is kind of the second time they've done an opportunity for Call to Arms. I think the first time obviously was when it was first introduced with the triple money, XP, and then gold. So you do actually get gold from this, but there is absolutely nothing going on in terms of the gold this time around. It's only 2 times on the money, and then the XP, the gold is at the standard rate apparently. And yeah, just typical 1 week event week obviously here, for going for September 13th. But yeah. For those who want to know the payout, apparently, I think the payout was around like $700 on triple for the money. So I want to say the double payout should be like in the mid 400, maybe close to $500 at the highest. So you can make some pretty decent money on double, and that's not necessarily that bad on the standard, but obviously you get that bit more, obviously. So for money, if you can manage to complete all 10 waves of a Call to Arms, it's actually pretty decent. For the money, like 400, 500. And you could probably complete one in like an hour, hour and a half if you have a really good like group of friends or something, or who knows, even if you get some really good randoms, like myself, I was able to kind of do a whole 10 wave survival with randoms before, but of course, my character ended up dying on like the last character, and some glitch happened where I didn't get the payout and stuff like that. And of course, I went to Rockstar support, and they're like, clear your system cache, and they were completely useless garbage and all that stuff in the first place. So yeah, that's the story of how I got ripped off on a Call to Arms, and I was one who was on the triple payouts and stuff, like on the last day and all. So yeah. Do be aware it is kind of glitchy still, I think, for the game mode. I doubt it kind of fixed much of it yet, but yeah. And then, yeah, the gold, like I mentioned, there's nothing really going on with the gold, so I think at the most you can make like 1 gold, because I think it was 3 gold bars I think you could get for the payout on triple through getting it in an entire wave 10 complete. So if you complete a wave 10, you'll still get the standard 1 gold bar, I think. And then XP. XP is pretty decent as well, just like the cash even normally. I think on the triple, I think the XP was like about 9,000. It was like 8,000, like 600, 700, something like that, I think, for the triple. So I want to say you can get like 5,000, 6,000 and maybe XP on double if you complete a whole entire 10 waves of Call to Arms. So yeah, you can make like $400, $500 I think, and then like 5,000, 6,000 XP if you manage to complete a whole entire Call to Arms, whether that's with yourself obviously or with like other players, whether randoms or friends and whatnot. So very decent money and XP to to make, which XP obviously is very important for leveling up that Quick Draw Club number 3. So I'd say the main reason for doing that would definitely be for leveling up the Quick Draw Club number 3. The money, like I said, it's pretty decent and it's there and stuff, but if you want money, you might as well still stick to the collector, I'd say. But like I said, no denying that you should make some pretty decent money on it. And yeah. As for the call to arms I do recommend the Fort Mercer call to arms. I recommend that one in particular. The reason being is that there's like barricades at the like 2 entrances. Like yeah, the barricades don't last too long. I think the first one goes away like on the 2nd wave, and then the second one goes away on the 3rd wave. So you only get both like barricades for the 1st wave. 2nd wave you have like one of the barricades, and then the 3rd wave it's kind of like standard from there. But there are wagons, I think, that do spawn. There's like regular wagons, I think, that will go into Fort Mercer if you let them, if you don't like kill the people on the wagons. So what you can do is let the like first couple like standard wagons go into like Fort Mercer, and then obviously you kill the people when they're in Fort Mercer that are on the wagons. Then what you can do is take the wagon and like block the like where the barriers once were. And then I tried it with a fire bottle before and it didn't work well because the horses like run away and stuff, and if you don't like kill the horses they kind of tend to run away randomly because of being scared of like gunshots and stuff. So what I found kind of works best is to use a dynamite on the horses for like the standard wagons that go into Fort Mercer, which I think that might be like waves 4 and 5 that might happen. Or like 3 and 4, some combination like that. Basically just let one wagon on one side go into Fort Mercer, and then on the other side as well, eventually go into Fort Mercer as well for the standard wagons. And then you can use them obviously to, again, make a barricade for those when the original barricades get destroyed. So like I said, I think I recommend a dynamite, because fire bottles, the horses will run away because they don't get killed right away. So yeah, if you use that strategy I mentioned, use dynamite to kill the horses, I think, because obviously they won't like run away over gunshots and stuff, so that the wagons don't get moved and you don't gotta worry about it. And yeah, obviously, you may wonder, will the wagons like despawn if you kill the horses? From my experience, they don't, so that seems to be a really good strategy. And what that will basically do is that the enemies will have to like climb the ladders and stuff like that on the Fort Mercer survival to even get inside. So I think that will kind of be the best like solo method, I would probably say, for how to do a wave 10 survival is Fort Mercer, and then like block off the parts once the like initial barriers get destroyed. Once the initial barriers get destroyed, block the entrances again with like wagons and stuff. Because I don't really think anything like that's possible in the other maps, because the other maps are like way more open, whereas Fort Mercer is way more enclosed, for example. So that's what I think would probably be the best strategy for Call to Arms, especially as a solo player, if for some reason you don't get matched up with other players, because that can happen, where you can end up being the only one that will be in a Call to Arms. And then, yeah, I think that basically mentions everything. I think I mentioned everything I could think of what I think is the best map and whatnot. And then 2 times RDO money this week, only on free roam missions. But yeah, free roam missions, as mentioned, I'm a spectator, 2 times money. Free roam missions, not to be confused with the new blood money stuff, it's essentially like the other stuff. So you'll notice with the 4 blood money contracts, there's like 2 different sets of missions. I think every single blood money contact also has their own like free roam missions. And then there's all the other like orange like stranger icons that have only the like stranger free roam missions. So I think free roam missions are basically the stranger missions in the game. So that's what's the 2 times money. Fortunately, nothing going on in terms of gold or XP for that though. But yeah, you can make an okay amount. But yeah, free roam missions, in my opinion, aren't really worth doing for the money. They're more worth doing for the gold, I'd say. So it's hard to say I'd recommend 2 times already money on the stranger missions, the free roam missions and all. And this one here, quick draw club number 3. The stuff on the left is pretty standard, but it does mention it does mention a couple of the things you can get for the quick draw club number 3, but obviously I'll go into a more in-depth look. And then there's bonuses there. Obviously, as they've mentioned since the beginning, you can get the Halloween Pass 2 for free if you get like all the quick draw clubs for it and whatnot, and complete them and whatnot. Or it seems just purchasing and not necessarily completing all of them. So that part was already known, but the new part we know now is the owners of the previous 2 who purchased, people who purchased the first and the second quick draw club before. Obviously you get quick draw club number 3, will get a reward for 25 Capitale and then 10 fast travel rewards. So Capitale, obviously that's the thing you use for doing the blood money opportunities. Blood money opportunities are basically the ultimate, like, they're like basically the hugest missions you can do for the new like blood money content. And for those who need to spend Capitale, so that's what you use that for, obviously. As far as I know, that's the only use for the Capitale. So if you want to do the best paying blood money stuff for the new update, then that's what the Capitale is for. And then 10 fast travel rewards. In my opinion, it's kind of for the bonus this time around. I feel the bonus last time around was probably better. I can't exactly remember what it was, but the bonus last time around was probably better, I'd say. Because I think 25 Capitale is only enough for one whole mission. I think it's normally like 15 Capitale, I think, to start up one of the opportunities. And again, I think that's like the only use for them. So 25 gets you almost 2 whole missions for the opportunities. So that's kind of nice. But 25 I feel is kind of the lower end. I feel it could have been a little more. But at least 30 I feel it should have been. But yeah. And fast travel rewards. They do in certain event weeks where you can get fast travel for free. And whenever there's any of those event weeks where you get the like free fast travel, I think you have to actually spend your free fast travel tickets before you can actually get benefit from the free fast travel if they do free fast travel during an event week. So in my opinion, it's not really that great for the fast travel rewards, especially for those event weeks where they do the free fast travel without the rewards. So I feel it's kind of a chore to have to spend the fast travel stuff. In a way, I feel, but obviously free fast travel is pretty nice, but it doesn't even cost that much. Alright, now for quick draw club number 3. Ammo parcel, slug, shotgun ammo, bundles of poison, and small game arrows. Which is pretty nice, because I think the poison arrows and small game arrows you have to craft, I think, normally, so that's pretty nice that you don't have to craft some of that. 15% on roll XP boost. I'll kind of skip over to the other XP boosts right now as well. I think it tends to be like a 45% as of recently, I think. 25, or I guess 40. Okay, so there's 25 for 20. Alright, so 15 and 25 for 40. That's probably the standard, obviously, for a quick draw club. For rank 1 at the start and then rank 20. But quite frankly, for those who've been playing the game for those who've been playing the game for a while, basically like before like they stopped doing the rolls, because like quite frankly the last few updates, the last few to several updates before the blood money DLC were all like roll updates. If you've been like playing those updates like crazy when they were initially released and stuff, then like, are you for real gonna need to roll XP boosts? I feel like I honestly kind of should have went away from the roll XP boosts, in my opinion, with the quick draw clubs and put something of more use in here, but I guess for those who still need it, and even for those who are maxed out with every roll, like myself, I'm literally maxed out with every single roll, so I don't really have much to go for. But yeah. What it is useful for for those who are maxed out on every single role like myself, you can actually get the increase in role XP, I imagine, for the Bounty Hunter experience reward. So at least you should get that Bounty Hunter reward faster, I suppose. Rank 2 has a Sage Tartan wrap, which I think the gunsmith stuff tends to be some of the better stuff in these quick draw clothes and the outlaw passes in my opinion, so definitely these wraps are quite nice. Stable stall, get a complimentary stall to store a new horse. Complimentary means free, it's not like a discount on a stall, you actually get a free stable stall. Those can go upwards of like $750, I believe, so quite the savings you can get there actually. Fast travel post, 50% off RDO money. That allows you to fast travel at the camp, obviously. Which is definitely one of the better investments you can definitely get at the camp, because what you can do, obviously, is when you first get into a lobby, there's an option to spawn at the camp. So if you spawn at the camp as your starting option for starting in a lobby, you can then use the fast travel post to choose a more particular location. Because on the online screen, you can't choose like particular like towns and stuff. You can only choose like the 5 regions and stuff like that, essentially. So essentially, in combination with the like camp spawn that you can do at the beginning and the fast travel post, you can get easy access to whatever town you want, essentially. So very worth it for sure, and gain it 50% off. Very nice. Emote there, complete cosmic outfit in there. Cartridge wrap, bolt action rifle. Okay, so they're actually doing some more cartridge wraps. I kind of thought they would stop with it, honestly, with Quick Draw Club number 2. But I guess they're doing a couple more, maybe, for Quick Draw Club number 3. In my opinion, the cartridge wraps are pretty cool. I just don't like how they're limited to the very particular long arms. Like all the other like wraps they've done, you can put on like literally any long arm you want. I don't know why the cartridge wraps have to be for very particular weapons though. But yeah, in my opinion, the cartridge wraps are some of the cooler looking wraps for sure. But yeah, Van Horn buckle, complete cosmetic there, free gold bars. Because obviously you get the 25 back, so that's basically what all those do, is they give you your gold back if you get free with certain point and whatnot. So like multi-class horses for 50% off, such as the like, Missouri Fox Trottlers, Turkmen, or Mustang horses. Stamina core filter, interesting. Unkempt mane, white and auburn. That's the first of the horse customizations in Quick number 3. And in my opinion, in addition to like the gunsmith stuff, I think the stable and the gunsmith stuff, in my opinion, tends to be the most valuable stuff, in my opinion, with the Quick Draw Clubs and the outlaw passes for sure. I think those can definitely get some of the most use, no doubt. A lot of the other stuff I feel is very one and done kind of stuff and whatnot. Wild boar pose, pretty interesting there. 4 gold bars there. Cartridge wrap for the elephant rifle this time, that's pretty interesting. And I know the elephant rifle I don't think has any sort of variant. I don't know about the bolt action. I think the bolt action rifle has a variant, and the reason I bring up the variants is actually with the variants you can't actually really put on whatever wrap you want. If you want to put on these cartridge wraps, you basically have to like not do the like variants. So I think the bolt action rifle actually has a variant on it. So if you have like the roll variant of the bolt action rifle, you cannot combine it with the cartridge wrap. So you basically have to choose between a cartridge wrap or put it on like a roll variant, which makes it kind of pointless in my opinion to have the cartridge wraps for the long arms with the roll variants. Or again, they should have made it where like all the different long arms have this cartridge wrap and don't like waste all these slots to all these different weapons for the cartridge wraps. So like this one, for example, the Sage Tartan wrap, you can do that for any long arm you want. I don't know why it can't be the same for these cartridge wraps. I don't know why it's only very particular long arms. That's basically what I'm saying. But yeah, elephant rifle, I think that one doesn't have a variant though, so that's one I would probably use the cartridge wraps on. Yeah, I think the bolt action rifle actually has a variant, I believe. Benno sight. Oh, that's lame. I thought the Benno sight was going to be a sniper rifle scope. In my opinion, it looked like a sniper rifle scope from what I saw in the newswire. But no, I guess that's a monocle kind of thing that you just put on your eyelid or something. I could swear I thought the image suggested on the newswire that was going to be like an actual like sniper rifle scope, but it turned out I was wrong, I guess. I could have sworn if I saw like a sniper scope when I saw it on the newswire where they first introduced it for a little preview on Quick Draw Club number 3. So I thought we were finally getting like a new like type of scope or something. But nope. It's just some dumb monocle thing. That's purely cosmetic and all. Which obviously a sniper scope probably would have mainly been purely cosmetic as well, but if we got like some new sniper scope kind of thing, that would have been pretty cool. No doubt. Ammo ingredient parcel, which allows you to craft special ammo of certain kinds. Doesn't really necessarily say like what's in it, but obviously the image should probably give some vibes for that. Loose mane, auburn, and white. So that's a different type of mane with those like two same colors, it looks like. Except like the auburn's the primary and like the white's the secondary kind of. Cartridge wrap for the spring fight. Cartridge wrap for the Springfield rifle. Which I'm not sure if the Springfield rifle is a variant or not. If it doesn't have a variant, then you should probably end up using the cartridge wrap, I'd say. But if it does have some like roll variant or some other kind of variant, then I would probably rather go for the variant rather than the like cartridge wrap, if anyone gets what I'm saying. Regal bars, a ginger wilderness wrap, which is one of the ones you can do on any long arm cartridge wraps. Saying that to you, cartridge wraps, being only on very particular like long arms and wasting a slot, even though they don't even use these bottom slots down here. Toasted mane, black and natural, apparently. Another thing of horse customization. We have quite a couple horse customizations so far. Complete cosmetic buckle there. Orgle bars. Ingredient parcel, which I think the ingredient parcels tend to be best for like the Moonshine business or something. I don't know if that's a Moonshine ingredients parcel or something. I don't know, this might just be like consumable stuff more than like stuff you use for like Moonshine, I don't know. Cartridge wrap for the rolling block rifle. I know this one has a variant, I'm pretty sure, for the rolling block rifle, so it's hard to say I would recommend doing the rolling block rifle cartridge wrap, because I know that one actually has a variant on it. I think it was like some Halloween livery though, so I think it was pretty limited for like a Halloween pass or something, but yeah. Or the previous one, I believe. But yeah, complete cosmetic hairstyle thing there. Complete cosmetic emote thing there. Ringwood bars, the XP thing that I mentioned earlier. Complete cosmetic emote thing there. Complete Gollywood wraps. Honestly, when I first saw the Gollywood wraps, I did notice the glows, so I kind of thought it was glows, but when I kind of saw the name Gollywood wraps, it kind of suggested, in my opinion, we're actually getting like more kind of like new gun wraps, in my opinion. But nope. I saw the gloves in the image, but I wasn't entirely sure if it was talking about some cosmetic like gun thing or something. I think there's like a gun like holster thing or something in the same image or something. But yeah, it's quite a shame. I was kind of hoping the Gollywood wraps would be an actual like gun wrap, but nope. It's just these stupid glove things, I guess. Cartridge wrap for the Carcano rifle. I think the Carcano rifle does not have a variant on it, so I think that's one of the couple I would definitely recommend using the cartridge wrap for. But yeah, any that don't have like, any that do have like roll variants or any other kind of variant, I wouldn't recommend using cartridge wrap for those weapons. Any without like any sort of variant, I would definitely go for it though. Orgold bars. Final horse customization is like main auburn and white, apparently. So, I think that's 4 horse customizations, and they're all mains. All of them are mains this time. There's no like tail customizations whatsoever. I think the other 2 I've had like tail customizations. This one just seems to have main customizations this time around. Complete cosmetic mask there, 4 gold bars. Vitalism Studies Pamphlet, you can get 5 gold bars off of Vitalism Studies Pamphlet. Though for those of Prime Gaming right now until like September 28th, I think you can actually get it free. I think you can actually get a free Vitalism Studies Pamphlet. I think there's actually a free one that you can get right now for Prime Gaming. And you can literally do on the highest value one, which is what I did, which was something that's saving 12 gold bars, which is actually on the opossum, which I think I thought was the boar, but was actually the opossum. So if you're going to use it on any of the pamphlets, I recommend doing it on the opossum, because that one's 12 gold bars. Or obviously if you have that one, whatever your next most expensive one is, so you get the most value off. So that's pretty nice there for the Vitalism Study pamphlets, because those you have to spend gold bars on, there's no cash alternative. Backshot Knife, which is that knife thing they showed off in the preview for Control Code number 3 when they did that newswire before the update released for the entire Blood Money update. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure if it's a new knife, kind of similar to other knives that we've had before, or if it's like an upgrade to the hunting knife. If it's a variant, it might actually be an upgrade to the hunting knife this time around, but yeah. If it's like an actual new knife, then it's not going to replace the hunting knife. Which I'm fine with that for sure, obviously. Whether it's like a whole new knife or if it's a variant of the hunting knife, doesn't really matter too much to me. Definitely one of the cooler things I'd say this time around, even if it's probably not going to get any use, quite frankly, but yeah. And then complete cosmetic investing there. But yeah. I actually don't think there's a treasure map this time around. I think the first 2 had a treasure map in them. I don't seem to see a treasure map in there this time around, so that's kind of unfortunate. So you don't get that like extra like around 1 gold bar in addition to the 25 like you could with the other ones. Alright, yeah. Like I said, I don't notice a treasure map in here this time, that kinda sucks. And I also noticed there's no like cash things up in the free section like there was before. Because they've given quite a couple $100s in the previous Quick Draw Clubs. For Quick Draw Club number 1 and number 2, there was like actual like monetary rewards you could get up here for like 100 and like 200, for example. That doesn't seem to be the case this time either. So I don't know, this one seems kind of disappointing in some ways in terms of like the money and gold you can get out of it compared to the previous couple. So if you kind of look in that aspect of the Quick Draw Club, then it's not as great as the other 2. But some of the stuff is still pretty cool, like the new cartridge wraps for some of the weapons. If they don't have a variant, I'd say, then it's definitely worth putting on those cartridge wraps. The horse customizations obviously are pretty nice, and then the other gunsmith customizations, I think there's some neat other stuff, obviously. Trying to think of anything else. Going back to the complimentary stable stall, like I said, these can cost upwards of like $750 for like the last few stable stalls, I think. I literally think they cost upwards of $750 for the last few stable slots. So this is almost $1,000 in savings for this complimentary stable stall, so that's pretty nice. That's for sure. I don't think that was really a thing in the other 2. And then who doesn't like a new knife, honestly? Even if you're not going to get any use out of it, might as well go free new variant of the knife as long as you complete your Cordial Club. It's essentially free if you complete the whole Cordial Club, so you get your 25 gold bars back. So yeah, hopefully that explains everything with that. And yeah, it goes until October 4th, 2021 for those who are curious about the end of the Cordial Club number 3. But yeah, I'm gonna get it here. And yeah, for my gold bars, I have almost double of what the Cordial Club actually costs right now, which is quite cool. And yeah, those are some of the like highlight things there. And yeah, I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm quite disappointed with the Benel sight and the Gallywood wraps. I kind of thought that was like a sniper scope of some kind, like an actual like new sniper scope. And then the glove thing, I thought those like wrap things were going to be like actual new like gun wraps, but nope, it was some glove thing apparently. Because I think some of the images were quite misleading to deal with them, quite frankly. That might have been just me though, I don't know. So yeah, there. Got the ammo parcel and then the 50% roll XP, which will really only be useful if I do Bounty Hunter, which I'm not gonna lie, I haven't really done Bounty Hunter in this current update because I have quite the gold and there's like nothing to spend gold on since there's no new like roll, and then I already got the like starting kit thing that came with like the bandana and all that and the bit of Capitalia, whatever. I don't know, whatever that was. So in my opinion, there's definitely some strong points as in a sense compared to other Cordial Clubs, like the complimentary stable stall. But there's also some weaker points, like no like monetary reward, no treasure map, for example. So in my opinion, it's kind of the worst one so far, but yeah. Find extra Capitalia this week on occurring the gang hideouts as put on the Spectre. Which I don't know if those are the gang hideouts from day one, or if they're like gang hideouts like tied to some blood money thing or something. It could be that. Because I think it mentioned something about like being able to find like gang hideouts in like free roam or something. I think it mentioned like gang hideouts in like free roam tied to like the blood money update. Though it could be the ones from day one for all I know, which I don't think I necessarily knew you could actually get Capitalia from those if that was the case. If that is the case. Which if it's the gang... I can't talk today apparently, goddammit. But yeah. If it's the gang hideouts from like day one of the game, then you can actually kind of get some treasure maps from those if you get lucky, so that's quite nice. Which is kind of why I put that one into my spectator between the like 3 different things. Free roam missions, in addition to the 2 times money, also have the extra Capitalia, which I didn't really put in a spectator because they never specify if it's like 2 times. They only say increase, they're not necessarily 2 times on the Capitalia. And then not only that, the blood money crimes also have the extra Capitalia as well. And blood money crimes are like just single, like small blood money missions. So the blood money crimes are basically the basic blood money missions for those who don't know. Like the lit views, the stagecoach stick-ups and all that. Whatever all that is, essentially. Claim new login gifts and see more limited time bonus rewards. Purchasing a weapon modification this week will get you 25 buckshot incendiary shotgun slugs and then also 200 rounds of express revolver ammo. It says you gotta purchase it, so I don't know if like any of the new like Cordial Club ones count or not, because those are technically free, like the new cartridge wraps obviously. And then yeah. All players who log in for the event week will get free special snake oil and free potent bitters, so some nice small little consumable things there, and then obviously small little ammo rewards there for getting the weapon modification. And actually I wanted to mention like the cartridge wraps, like I kinda wanted to go over like whatever. I wanted to summarize all of them since I was kinda going off of them one by one earlier. But yeah, rank 5, it's the bolt action rifle cartridge wrap. The elephant rifle cartridge wrap's at rank 9. The Springfield rifle cartridge wrap is at rank 12. The Rolling Block rifle cartridge wrap is at rank 17. I think the last one was a Carcano rifle. Yes, the Carcano rifle was rank 21. So just like with Quick Draw Club number 2, there's exactly 5 cartridge wraps. So combine 5 of number 2 and then 5 of number 3, that's 10 cartridge wraps. And then for the other gunsmith stuff, I think there's 7 of these in total, which is 1 beneath Quick Draw Code number 2. I think Quick Draw Code number 2 had 8 of these gunsmithings, but this one only has 7, so they kinda went down by 1 on the gunsmith rewards. I think this time there's more horse customizations, which is quite nice for those who like horse customizations. But yeah, for the ones that aren't cartridge wraps, there's a Sage Tartan wrap. Which tartan, in my opinion, is one of the cooler like wrap things you can do for sure, aside for the cartridge wraps, I'd say. So more tartan wraps is definitely one I like for sure. And then the Ginger Wilderness wrap seems to be the other non-cartridge wrap this time around. And in my opinion, I think the Wilderness wraps, I don't remember them being quite that good looking in my opinion. So I think the Wilderness ones tend to be some of the like lesser cool wraps in my opinion. So that's a little summary of the gunsmith stuff, since I kind of mainly went off of them one by one and kind of forgot to go into them all together in a sense. So I think that finally concludes the Quick Draw Club stuff. Alright, that's been done with. Okay, I think this might be kind of the last one to cover since the Prime Game stuff's the same. Returning Outlaw Pass clothing and items. This is all new here on the left. Customize weapons with blue enamel inlay material. So they brought back the blue enamel inlay material for those who did not earn it for the Quick Draw Club. Oh, I mean, not Quick Draw Club, but it was like Outlaw Pass back then, which was like the huger ones, obviously. So for those who didn't do the Outlaw Pass with the blue enamel, you can actually purchase the blue enamel now, which is quite nice. I don't think the like green, red, and like yellow enamels are available yet, though. It seems it's just the blue one now. So some nice little customizations for the gunsmith. Personally, I prefer the red enamels, but yeah, I'll see if you prefer the blue enamel, then that's pretty nice. Definitely think it's one of the better enamel inlays in my opinion. And then there's also the Zapatero outfit, which is one of the, like, I think it's one of the Vanderlyn gang outfits that they mentioned before. And then there's also the Bandit Mask. And I think those should be at Madame Nazar's, I'm guessing, for the clothing items, like with Arthur's outfit and probably John Marston's outfit. And I know Arthur Morgan's outfit was like 52 gold bars when it first released. I don't know about John Marston's outfit, but yeah. if Safatero outfits anything like those other like Vandalin outfits, expect to pay a huge premium in gold bars. Probably more gold bars than the actual Outlaw Pass it was introduced in the first place. So I wouldn't really recommend it unless you have a lot of gold. You don't really care what you spend it on or whatever. And then Bandit Mask is probably going to cost some gold bars as well, I would imagine. And then discounts here. 5 gold bars off the Bounty Hunter license. The Bounty Hunter license is normally 15 gold bars. If you gain 5 gold bars off, that's essentially a 33.3% off. So it's one of the lower discounts, being the 33.3% off, essentially on the 5 gold bars off the Bounty Hunter license, making it 10 instead of 15. And for those who don't have the Bounty Hunter license, it's definitely the best role, I'd say, in the game in terms of making gold bars. I think Collector is the best in terms of making money in terms of the different roles. Whereas I think that Bounty Hunter is definitely the best for making gold bars. And what do you need in terms of getting more roles? You need gold bars. So I think the Bounty Hunter, I'd say, would definitely be the best investment in terms of the different roles in the game. Because it's the only role I think that actually provides much of a way to get gold aside for like resetting challenges. That's kind of a thing with like all the different roles, I think, in some capacity. And also like role free roam events, I think those give gold as well. I think Bounty Hunter is the only one that gives like gold for the actual like main activity and not like small like side activities that aren't necessarily all that worth doing. So I think Bounty Hunter is definitely the best role for sure. So definitely get it if you have not, I'd say. Especially when there's nothing new to spend gold on pretty much with this new update. And yeah, 30% off all role pamphlets. I guess I'll go over all the role pamphlets here, since it does all depend on the different pamphlets. Alright, tracking arrow pamphlet allows you to craft tracking arrows. Personally, I don't really use the tracking arrows, and in my opinion, it's easy enough to get the bounty targets without. In my opinion, it's easy to get tracking. In my opinion, it's easy to track the bounty targets without the tracking arrows. Honestly, the only use tracking arrows would probably have if you need to like track targets at an even greater distance than the like already kind of great distance for tracking targets already normally, I'm guessing. But yeah, tracking arrows, in my opinion, you're probably not going to be using them that much, so I'd probably kind of stay away from this one. The only good thing about it is you have to actually own the pamphlet in order to craft the ammo. You can't really buy the tracking arrows. For the most part, you only get them through like certain event weeks, aside for like crafting them for the most part. So if you want some highly exclusive ammo that you can craft, then definitely go for it. Besides for that, I probably wouldn't worry about it too much. So really, it's only if you want like better access to the tracking arrows, which normally you only tend to get them through like certain event weeks when Rockstar gives them out and whatnot. Besides for that, you basically have to make them yourself, I think. So yeah, I think making them yourself is kind of one of the only ways you can get them. So in terms of exclusivity with the tracking arrows, not being able to like buy them at like a shop or something, definitely quite nice to get. But aside for that, not really. And you probably won't want us to use them that much, I'd say, for the bounty hunter role or any other purpose I could think of. I don't think they're necessarily going to be that useful. And yeah, it's coming from someone who's never used a tracking arrow, but I think it's fair to say that's a fair assumption of how it would work. I think that's the only one with the bounty hunter. Naturalist. I think Naturalist might have the most pamphlets between the different roles. But yeah, starting off with Novice, there's the City of Varmint cartridge pamphlet, which allows you to craft sedative Varmint ammunition. But yeah, if you look at that, that's like $400. Like, you really want to spend $400 on ammo that you can buy from Harriet? Not to mention the ammo you buy from Harriet, you only have to like spend like 80 cents, I think, for like 60 rounds or something. And you can only hold like 200 at a time or something. It's just not worth it, in my opinion, for the Varmint cartridge pamphlet. Like, yeah, I have like all the pamphlets, so yeah, I do own like all the pamphlets, that's why all of them have like a check mark, but I don't need that to like complete my collection of pamphlets technically and have all the like exclusive crafting stuff and whatnot. But yeah, in my opinion, it's not really that worthwhile unless you really use the Varmint cartridge pamphlets for the sedative rounds. So unless you're like the biggest fan of the naturalist content, I wouldn't really bother with it. You might as well just keep buying them for like 80 cents or whatever for like 60. Which obviously for a whole thing, that's probably only like $2 to $4 every time to refill your Varmint rifle. So this pamphlet's really only useful like for a long term, I'd say. And even then, it's probably just best to buy ammo, even if you were to like spend $500 on the ammo without even buying the pamphlet. Animal Reviver pamphlet, going to promising year. What's you craft Animal Reviver? But yeah, basically kind of the only use I'd say for the Animal Reviver is to not let Harriet get mad at you or whatever. But even then, I think if you use the sedative rounds, I think the animals just like get up on themselves anyways, I think. So it's kind of hard to say if I'd recommend this. Honestly, the best thing about it is you can actually get a tiny bit of Naturalist XP when you're actually needing to rank up the Naturalist if you're not maxed out already. So you do get the tiniest bit of bonus on the Animal Reviver pamphlet with like, you literally get a very slim, tiny amount of Naturalist XP every time you use it. But yeah, not worth it. $3.85. And these only cost like $5, so not really worth it. Blood and tonic pamphlet. I think this is the tonic that allows you to reduce your detection. See, I think this reduces detection from different like animals and stuff, so that's what that's useful for. And that might cost like $20 or something, so this would definitely be way more useful than the previous two. But do you really need to not get detected as like often from an animal? I don't really necessarily think so. So only if you're like the hugest fan of the naturalist content, I'd say to go for it. But yeah. Besides for that, not really. My opinion, you don't really get much value out of the bonding tonic, I would say. If I'm remembering it correctly. And then legendary animal. And a legendary animal pheromone pamphlet. What this does, I believe, is it allows you to have more chance of finding legendary animals, where it like increases the detection range of finding legendary animals. Like, you're probably gonna like find them like regardless if you've seen the pamphlet. Like, if you find one, you find one. If you don't, you don't. Essentially, I don't necessarily think would help too much with that. I mean, but no denying this is probably the best pamphlet for the naturalist role, I'd say, for sure. Not only because it costs most, but it also provides the most value, I'd say. So if you're going to choose any of the naturalist role, we get this one, I'd say. But, probably not going to be getting much use out of it, I'd say. Thank again, that could kind of be pamphlets in general, even, but yeah. And then Moonshiner. Toxic Moonshine pamphlet. Allows you to craft Toxic Moonshine. I don't think you can buy Toxic Moonshine. I think the only way you can make it is through the pamphlet. So if that's the case, similar to the tracking arrows, because of the exclusiveness of the ammo, it could be one of the more worthy pamphlets to get in that regard. But aside for that, the pamphlet's probably not all that worth it. If anything, this might be like the Red Dead version of like the tear gas or something from like GTA or something. This could essentially be like the tear gas of Red Dead Online. I've never used it personally, so I don't actually know, but yeah, it's probably like the tear gas of Red Dead Online, I'm guessing. So yeah, I don't necessarily know if that would really be that worth it. Okay, that might be the only pamphlet for the Moonshiner role. Trader role. I don't actually think this one has any pamphlets, I want to say. Alright, yeah, I didn't see any pamphlets for Trader there. And then Collector, I kind of want to say this one doesn't have pamphlets either. Alright, yeah, does not. So I think there was one for Moonshiner being the Toxic Moonshine. The Bounty Hunter has the one with the tracking arrows, which those ones give you some highly exclusive like ammo and weapons that you can use. So I think these two are honestly kind of more worth it than any of the naturalist ones. And when it comes to the naturalists, if you want any of those ones, I'd say go for the Luxury Animal Pheromone one or the Blending Tonic. Probably the Luxury Animal Pheromone one, I'd say. If you want more of like a tonic or something, rather than like a thing of ammo or like a kind of weapon you can make, like a throwable essentially. So I mean that's the advice on like the 6 different pamphlets I think there was for the roll pamphlets. For the 30% off, I think it was. Alright, yeah, that was 30% off. And then there's 40% off of the Breton horses. And I think the Breton horses are the Bounty Hunter horses, I think. Alright, yeah, Breton horses are the Bounty Hunter horses. Which is novice. I think there's a novice. I think there's novice, distinguished, and one other one. Okay. Novice, established, distinguished, I think. So obviously these are the cheapest of the Breton horses, so I probably wouldn't go with those ones. And then these aren't the like most expensive, so I probably wouldn't go for these ones in terms of like stats, obviously, which matter the most, I'd say, instead of like cosmetics. So I would definitely go for the ones here for distinguished, which right now are only 570 instead of like 900 something, I want to say normally. And 40% off all roll going. And 40% off all roll gun belts. Those are just purely cosmetics, so that's really the only reason to get the roll gun belts is for the cosmetics. 40% off all ammo, which is quite nice. Going with the coat of arms, which will be having to spend a lot of your own ammo on the coat of arms if you do those. So yeah, that definitely complements the coat of arms pretty nicely for the 40% off the ammo. And then finally some horse customizations with the stirrups and then the spurs on 40 and then 50% off. what those do is they change the stats of your, like, your saddles or whatever. Unless you have, like, a pre-configured saddle or something where you can't, like, modify it or something, because I know there's certain saddles where you can't, like, change it up or something. So those essentially change some stats on your horse. So some pretty good discounts this time around if you will compare to a couple of the previous event weeks, I'd say, in my opinion, if I remember it right. But yeah. And yeah, that's exactly the same from before. But yeah, Prime Gaming's the same, and it will be for like the next 2 weeks after. Alright, so now for the weekly collection and like the featured series and stuff like that. And that should do for the stream, which this one's actually a longer one again, because there's actual, like, content editions and not just, like, an event week, essentially. Alright. Featured series for the week is the hardcore series, it seems. But yeah. Featured series is the hardcore series, which has no ability cards and no consumables, which you would think with the name it does suggest it would be more hardcore. Which I guess if you do use your ability cards and consumables a lot, especially on the consumable end, then yeah, I suppose it's hardcore, but if you're like me and when you play these modes you don't really care to use consumables, then honestly it could be kinda easier, I'd say, not having people using their consumables. If you're not one of those players that do use consumables. And this time around in the hardcore series, it's a mix of spoil war, public enemy, and then team shootout. So yeah, you would think seeing a name that might be a harder mode, but it could be kinda easier if you're not a player that tends to use consumables a lot. Because obviously in the other, like, ones, people do have the option of using their consumables. Whereas that one they don't. And the ability cards. I feel everyone tends to use the ability cards, I guess, in that kind of standpoint it is technically hardcore, but yeah. Guess I'll go for some metal detector stuff if I find any on the way here. But yeah, I'll be going for the weekly collection here, and I'll probably end the stream. But I might try to do a, call to arms on double, see if I can get to wave 10 or something. Though quite honestly, I've been actually playing the 360 version of Grand Theft Auto 5 again, because I did actually get like Xbox Live like 1 month thing or something, so I could play GTA Online again on the old like 7th gen system for the 360. And quite frankly, I'm actually quite disappointed in the version going back to it, because it reminds me of like how little content there was back in those days. It's kind of like Reddit Online here, which still kind of lacks content in a sense, but like forever does, whereas this game can still be changed in the PS4 version even. But yeah, I did finally start playing some GTA Online on 360 again. Since I did get a free like 1 month thing or something, because I earned it for like Microsoft rewards or whatever. And yeah, it was pretty disappointing. I'm basically playing some contact mission stuff right now, because I'm trying to see if there's like any exclusive contact missions I could cover or something. And if I were to cover stuff, it would be with like a tripod and like a phone or something. I don't have like a capture card or something. So it wouldn't be of good quality. I just want some kind of footage, if I want any footage even. But yeah.
You have a good one.
I don't necessarily care about the quality of the footage. If I can get like some footage of like the 7th gen versions for anything I might want before those versions go away on December 16th, 2021. So yeah, I've been playing some of that as of the last day, aka like yesterday, whatever. Probably like 24 hours ago actually started even, but yeah. So that's something I'm kind of doing, so that could delay in content stuff as well. To be fair, I haven't really been doing video stuff, but I have kind of worked on one that could be coming out. I just might want to wait until like all the vehicles release for the tuners update, which will be this Thursday. Because then obviously event weeks will be smaller, and then, yeah, then both games kind of have smaller event weeks. So then I think the videos would fit in better, kind of. Not distract much from new content. Because I don't necessarily care to wait for like delivery stuff. There's a lot of delivery stuff that will be happening for GT Online. I don't necessarily care to wait for all of that. I just want all the vehicles to release, which will happen on Thursday, finally. But yeah, Batman's collection. Okay, Batman's collection is an interesting one, kind of. It has all arrowheads. And what that means is it only takes for one full set that's permanently in the game. So what you could essentially do is you could do this smaller collection set for the arrowheads, or you could obviously go for the full arrowhead set here, if you want less money or more money. Which that's what I like about a collector set, a weekly collector set, if it stays in one set, is that it kind of makes it more accessible to go for one or the other, compared to some other ones where it mishmashes between like 2 to 3 different types of collectibles and stuff. So that's definitely quite the nice thing. The collection value is only $75, which is kind of on the lower end in a sense, because obviously collection values can get the highest of like 100 kind of. Which for a weekly collection is pretty good, considering it only has like 3 items. But yeah. It's not as great as a free coin collector set, but yeah. The downside of this collector set, though, there is a huge downside to that collector set, though. But yeah, that's even if you use like a collector map on Google, if you use like a collector map on like Google or whatever preferred search engine, you're not going to guarantee like exactly what arrowheads you get. Reason being is arrowheads are like purely underground collectibles, and that means they're like fully randomized. I do know with the arrowheads, though, there is the random event, though, with the animal that can have the arrowheads stuck in them or whatever. But aside for that, I think the arrowheads are like practically fully randomized, and even then that's through like a random event, so even the random event obviously is random as well. It's not like the American wildflowers, for example, where those are like fully like above ground, so you can more so guarantee which ones you get. Same goes for like tarot cards and any other like above ground collectible and stuff like that. So because you can't see them, obviously the game makes them like fully randomized when you dig them up. So while you can find a spot for while you can find a spot for arrowheads on a collector map on your preferred search engine, you won't be guaranteed a very particular arrowhead like you are for other collectibles. So that's the downside of it. So I think for that reason, it's kind of nice to have a smaller arrowhead set this event week, but I might as well still save up for a full one anyways, I'd say, because that's $75 value. And yeah, as you can see, this time I am pretty early with the event week this time, 5 days, 20 hours, 18 minutes. And then I'll check if there's anything on the news wire or not on the benefit section for some reason. but I wouldn't think so, because most of the times that's not the case. Alright. There is not anything that's on the news wire that's not on the benefits section as expected. So yeah, that'll finally be it for this stream. Next stream is most definitely going to be the GTA Online Event Week stream, which will have the final vehicle release of the Tuners update, the Karen Previan, which I'm super excited for that one, not only because it's a retro vehicle from like San Andreas. It's also a coupe, which there's not really coupes that tend to get added into the game, so that'll be pretty exciting. And aside from that, I don't necessarily have any other live stream planned for this event week. I mean, for this, like, actual week, not event week. For, like, a Monday through Sunday or something. But, yeah. That'll finally be it for this stream. Hope you enjoyed.